I made it just in time.
There's a wedding in the near future.
Well,
Did someone say wedding?
Oh my goodness, look who it is! Becca Scott.
they didn't get Jimmy,
So
which
yes,
is
the
really
centerpiece of
surprising.
Crimson Vow is this
I'm turning it down a
huge,
little bit.
extravagant vampire wedding.
And of course you got invited because you're one of my all-time favorite vampires.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so funny.
Yeah, well, do you think that maybe you could bring me, like, as your plus one?
Oh.
I mean, unless it's kind of a drag
It's-
to have a human as
See,
a
I'm-
wing woman.
No, well, that didn't matter because it was just a role that I played. I'm not really a vampire.
Oh, say no more. I get it. You can't
Oh,
say
she's in
more
True
there.
Blood,
Well,
okay.
dang. Your secret's safe with me.
How did you swallow it after you... You know what? Doesn't matter. We're getting way off track here. So as I was saying, we are going to learn all about the vampire wedding of the century from all of the creators at Wizards of the Coast who helped make the big day possible. So...
Say, I only know one thing about the
You
set,
ready, host?
outside of,
Yeah,
it's a
human
vampire
girls.
wedding.
Oh, sorry. Is that
I know who the wedding guests
I'm ready.
are.
Okay.
Well, not the wedding
Wait,
guests, the,
Have you heard from Jimmy? I haven't heard from him in a
Oh,
while.
Jimmy is!
No, I heard he got eaten by a werewolf.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Jimmy just gets eaten by fucking Joe Manganiello. That's pretty funny.
So, as I was saying, we have some special guests with us to help us prepare for the big day. Just like Taylor Ingverson, senior art director.
Thanks so much for joining us here. It's so exciting.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting us in, because some of us might not have been able to get through the door without that.
I think what Becca is trying to say is that we're so excited to be here as well. Now, Taylor, you led the art direction on the last set, Midnight Hunt. So get us caught up. Where did we leave things in Innistrad at the end of Midnight Hunt, and how does that bring us into Crimson Vow?
See,
For the
I didn't get a
background
chance
of
to
what's going
read
on, there's a
the
lot. So,
Crimson Vow
at
story,
the
which I
end
need to do.
of Midnight Hunt, there was a disaster at the Harvesttide Festival. So it was set up to do this ultimate ritual to fix the day-night cycle put on by Catilda and her coven of Downheart witches. But it was foiled by a vicious pack of werewolves led by Tovalar. But it's okay, he got taken care of, which is sweet. But if that wasn't enough, Olivia swooped in at the very end, pushed Catilda aside, and stole the Moonsilver Key, which was a vital part of the ritual to fix the day-night cycle.
All while wedding planning.
I know. How do you manage that? Very true. Well, so then with the ritual unfinished, what does that mean for Innistrad?
Right, so that just means that the entire plane is now set into a realm of perpetual darkness, which is extra bad if you're a human, but kind of fun if you're a monster, because now it's party time. So, but just because it's super dark doesn't mean that it can't look pretty, just like these new dual bands.
Ooh, oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we're rounding out the cycle we started back in Midnight Hunt.
Right.
Those look really nice. I like those. Ooh,
And just like those lands from Midnight Hunt, these will also be getting the borderless treatment.
I really like the Simic
Oh
one.
my gosh, look at that.
Both
I wouldn't mind
arts for the
attending
Simic
a
one.
Death Cap Glade. It sounds unpleasant, but it looks lovely.
No, it's so beautiful and atmospheric. So then with the werewolves scattered around and the humans struggling, it sounds like the perfect opportunity, as you said, for vampires to just swoop
Yeah.
in and take over.
So it's actually funny that you bring that up because that's exactly what's going on. Olivia is taking full advantage of this situation, and throughout Crimson Vow, the story actually opens up with bats fluttering all over the plane, delivering awesome-looking invitations to the event of the age, Olivia Valdaren's wedding.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, I mean, it is a special occasion when you're.
Oh, I really like that. That's really
So there will
cool.
be vampires traveling from all across the plane to attend this event. The Valdarens, the Markovs, the Falconwraths, and the Stromkirks showing up for this.
Well, now, you said that it's Olivia's wedding, but I don't think you actually mentioned...
Oh, it's these two from the
who
art
she said she's
before.
marrying.
Oh yeah. So the lucky guy is none other than Edgar Markov himself. So it's really, really exciting for him.
Oh, he has
He's
his own?
the progenitor of all vampires on Innistrad, and he's also the
He looks super
grandfather of
old.
Soren Markov, our planeswalker vampire.
Goodness, what a catch.
Interesting, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if I would have agreed with Olivia's choice. I'd maybe go for Soren, but if she's into granddads, that's her choice, yeah. Tell us more about Edgar.
So Edgar Markov is the progenitor of all vampires, like I mentioned before.
Hey,
Way
Vulcan
long
Bugger.
ago, he was trying to get rid of this famine that was running through Innistrad. So he turned to sort of the dark rituals, and he himself, through dark magic, became the first
Oh, that's cool.
vampire on Innistrad. and also turned some others, which became the progenitors for all of the bloodlines of vampires on Innistrad.
Okay, so Olivia heads up the Volderans, and if she marries Edgar, then she's gonna be the head of 2 major vampire families within the plane. I mean, that kind of makes her the de facto queen of all of Innistrad. Pretty cool.
Becca, are you trying to say that she has an ulterior motive here? I mean, like, the heart wants what the heart wants.
I would never imply.
Is Edgar Markov just a crazy senile old man now?
But you're absolutely right. It's 100% what she's doing. It's a huge power play. And if she pulls this off, she will be the most powerful vampire on the entire plane.
Wow.
So how she goes about it is that Edgar has been sort of away in this long slumber, locked in his coffin. And he's a little bit weak. His powers have sort of waned. So Olivia walks in, wakes him up, gives him a little blood, and pops the question.
If only it were that easy for all of us, you know? Yeah.
Then she begins preparations for the big day.
Oh,
And
that's
since
so
it's her big
cool.
day, thought it would be appropriate if we took a peek at her card next. Olivia Crimson Bride.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Goes in
Well,
over
she doesn't
tapped.
do anything halfway, does she? Oh
And you
my-
don't
What
control.
is going on with her veil? Are those like...
Yes, those are actual spirits that are clinging to each other and to her.
Oh, that's so
forming the
fucking
train of her
cool.
dress.
No.
So cool. And absolutely, like you said, she does nothing halfway. So
Super extra.
right. So this is the opportunity
That's
for her
really
to
cool.
show everyone on the plane that she is now the most powerful, the most dangerous, and the most beautiful vampire on Innistrad.
Dangerous is right. I mean, you keep enough big name vampires around, and anything she pulls out of the graveyard is gonna be sticking around for a while.
So Taylor, you've introduced us to the bride, you've introduced us to the groom. What else can you tell us about the festivities? Like, is there anything about the venue we should know?
Yeah, absolutely. So this big event will be held at the Valderan Estate, which is a massive and opulent mansion up in the deep mountains.
Oh, it's
of
got
Sandra, which
the
is
hanging off
Innistrad.
bits. There's
It's
some
also
Castlevania
long,
shit right there. That's fucking sick.
Winding trails and caverns, you can just fall off just trying to get there. So it was an incredible set piece to work on for this set. So like we've mentioned before, in Midnight Hunt, we wanted to bring sort of like a warmer vibe to the festival for humans. In Crimson Vow, for the set piece of the Valderan Estate, we wanted a colder sort of place for party for monsters. So let's take a look at the card Valderan Estate.
Oh my god, the silhouette is
Ooh,
so
cast vampires.
blood tokens.
Token
Ooh.
artifact blood. Pay 1 generic mana, tap, discard a card, and sacrifice this artifact to draw a card.
That seems
Oh?
appropriately on theme. to
Yeah,
me.
nice little hors d'oeuvre,
Nice.
right? I mean, definitely not fit for consumption for humans like us.
So earlier you brought up Soren, Edgar's grandson. So how does he play into all of this?
Soren is sort of the black sheep of the vampires, and he's kind of got them all grumpy because long ago he created Avacyn, who defended the humans against his own kind. And this is sort of another way that Olivia's kind of just looming that grudge over Soren. So you can even see in her dress when you look at it, she's even walking around with one of his and the Markov's gems built into her dress. So it's
Ooh.
almost like she's already walking around with the family heirlooms.
Ouch.
So as for how Soren's taking this, I think we could just take a peek at his card for how he's feeling about it. And that is Soren the Merciless.
Soren the Mirthless. Yeah, that about answers that. I guess he is not there for a good time.
I mean, at least he's dressed for the occasion, though, because I gotta say, I'm a big
I-
fan of how he's rocking this ruffle thing.
Right, yeah. Usually he's
The
dressed a
the
bit
main
more
art is kind of
casual, ready for a
weird.
fight.
He looks too
This
much
time he's
like
kind
a
of intentionally
like a
dressing
fuck
down
boy,
for the
but the second
occasion.
one's really
He's
good.
there, but that's about it.
So earlier you mentioned that this is invite only, security's very tight. So is there a reason for that? Is Olivia expecting party crashers?
So security is super tight, so tight in fact that they put up a ward over the entire Valderan estate. So if you don't have an invite and you come in, you might. But I mean, you don't get to where Olivia is without generating a few enemies along the way. And one of those characters that might be coming to crash the party is Arlen Cord. And so we
Ooh.
know she was in Midnight Hunt as our werewolf planeswalker, and she already called Teferi the Time Mage during Midnight Hunt to Innistrad to help out with the day-night cycle. But now she needs a little bit more help, a little bit more fists on, so she's calling on other planeswalkers like Kaya here.
Ooh, yeah. She's
Ooh.
got like that whole Van Helsing thing going on. I love it.
Yeah.
Kaya
And in the
changes
background,
weapons
it's
every
great.
5 seconds.
Gorgeous, absolutely
It's cool. I like
Exactly.
it.
And
2
she
Kaias in
is-
standard
Her
as well.
specialty is fighting ghosts and undead. So on Innistrad, you absolutely want Kaya in your corner.
Wow. So who else is on the team? Who else is Arlen bringing in?
Yeah, so we're also bringing in our favorite pyromancer, Chandra. Gotta have Chandra. So she's gonna look great for the
Okay. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah. What else is she bringing to the party besides these like cool?
Oh, that's
language?
cool. That's really nice.
Absolutely. So if you know anything about Chandra, she's a lot more sort of speak now rather than forever hold your peace. So I think she'll find herself pretty busy at this event. But there's also too like
The art in this
even
set's
though
really fucking
sort of
good.
looking away from the event at the moment does not mean that humanity is not without its defenders. So we've got Thalia to look at. So why don't
Ooh.
we take a peek at Thalia's card?
Oh, they just reprinted Thalia Guardian of Thraben.
So,
Okay,
and
that's
just
fair.
like in Midnight Hunt, this will also come in an Eternal Night frame.
Ooh, that's really cool. Oh, she's got the tassely pauldrons.
The mood is set. This is a reprint, right?
Yeah, absolutely, but with some new spicy artwork.
I mean, I really love this. I love how you can't actually see the zombies, but they're in the window behind her or down in these shadows. That's so cool.
So that's a nod back to things didn't go so well for her hometown of Thraben in the last time we were at Innistrad. So we wanted to really show that she's still running through the halls of Thraben, fighting the good fight and cleaning up the streets of all sorts of nasty ghouls and zombies.
Well, Taylor, thank you so much for catching us up. It sounds like even with these surprise guests you mentioned, Olivia's got things pretty under control. This wedding's gonna
Yeah.
be
Oh,
awesome,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think if you want more,
No snap
then
custom agent
stay tuned
standard.
for the Crimson Vow web fiction coming soon.
Well, thank you so much, Taylor. If you don't mind, we're gonna go and learn a little bit more about the cards themselves.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Chandra's card looks, Chandra's art looks super fucking cool. I really like it. Olivia's is amazing as well.
Hi. Hi. And here we have Lauren Bond, one of the creative producers for Crimson Vow. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Becca.
Hi, I'm her human +1. Her +1. Sorry.
Uh-huh. Right. So, Lauren, we have learned a lot about the event itself, the venue, the guest list. Is there anything that you can tell us about the cards once we start ripping open those packs?
Well, if you've already seen Valderan Estate, then you've had your first look at blood tokens. But let's look at something else that you can do with blood tokens besides just refreshing your hand with Valderan Bloodcaster.
Whenever you create a blood token, if you control 5 or more blood tokens, Valderan Bloodcaster transforms into Bloodbat Summoner.
That's fun.
Okay, so I get it. So on top of using the blood tokens for their own effect,
So
we'll
Rice
also
really
be
stuffs at
seeing
their
cards
weddings.
that
How
can be done
queen.
other ways too.
That's
Yeah,
I
and
like
so
that.
their
That's
own
really
blood
cool.
Tokens can do double duty because they draw you a card, but they can
Okay.
also put stuff in the graveyard, which in Innistrad is always a good thing, right?
Exactly, like the Disturb mechanic from Midnight Hunt, which I'm happy to say is going to be coming back in Crimson Vow.
Cool.
You can check that out here on Dorothea, Vengeful Victim.
Dorothea, Vengeful Victim, transforms into Dorothea's Retribution.
Ooh, that's fun.
Ooh, okay.
Turns-
An
oh,
enchantment
it's-
with Disturb is a new one.
Disturb into an
Since
enchantment. That's
Disturb
really
shows
fun.
up On spirits, we realized there was more ways we could have them show up returning to haunt the battlefield that get a little bit more abstract and out there than just coming back as a creature. So the vampires may be taking center stage in this set, but we wanted to show the other monsters and creatures on Innistrad getting in on the action.
Maybe we'll get to
Okay,
see some
so we got lots
spiders.
of werewolves and zombies wreaking
I'm
havoc.
not gonna see any
We
spiders.
definitely do. I don't have a werewolf to show you today, but they are coming back for Crimson Vow, and they will be using that same day-bound, night-bound mechanic, just like we saw in Midnight Hunt. So if you're looking to fill out your werewolf commander deck, you're going to be in good shape. As for the zombies, they're coming back with a little bit of an older mechanic called Exploit, which you can see here on Overcharged Amalgam.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow.
That's a big charge on that boy.
Gosh.
We first saw Exploit back in the set Dragons of Tarkir. It lets you sacrifice a creature when this creature enters the battlefield to gain some additional benefits.
Very cool.
Oh, is that
Okay,
Geralt
so
down
you've
there?
got some creatures sitting
Yeah,
around.
there's
Maybe
glowy
they're
eyes?
pulling their weight.
I hope so.
You can flash this zombie horror in, and then you get the bonus of an additional counter. That's pretty awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a
And talking
ridiculous
about
card.
cutting dead weight. That brings us to Cleave, which is a new mechanic that we'll be seeing on instants and sorceries in Crimson Vow. Like this one here, Dig Up.
Cleave. You may cast this spell for its cleave cost. If you do,
Oh.
remove the words in square brackets.
Wow, so I'm new and I haven't actually seen anything like this before. So I think I get this. If I spend the cleave cost, then I read everything except the words in brackets. So that is Search your library for a
This
card,
is some kind of shit you'd
and
expect
put
to
it in your
see.
hand, then shuffle.
That's right.
It's crazy how you can just take out a couple words and completely change the meaning of the card. That gives it so
That's-
much versatility.
that's
and then someone take a second card
That's
with
I
the
expected to
card.
see shit like that
Okay, so
in
we've covered
Kamigawa.
monsters. What about the
That's
human display
nuts.
up to in the
It's
set?
sick, but also
After how badly things went for them for the Harvesttide Festival, they're kind of looking for some ways to build themselves back up, which you can see in the training mechanic here on Savior of Allenbach.
Training. Whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, but
Oh, it's reverse mentor. That's cool.
So
Also, I like his
when they're in
chakrams. He looks
training,
sick.
They're attacking with a stronger, maybe more experienced creature, and it looks like they do a little on-the-job learning and sometimes get an extra bonus for that.
Right, so on top of getting that +1/+1 counters from the training, you'll also see some creatures like Savior of Allenbach that have a trigger whenever they train.
And Exile is pretty powerful in this set.
Wow. Okay, so we've looked at the set's mechanics. What about visuals? I mean, Olivia seems like the type who's pretty particular about her wardrobe, so what are we expecting from Crimson Vow's legendary vampires?
We really wanted the vampires to take center stage here, so they're getting our new Showcase Fang treatment. We can see how that looks on Olivia, Crimson Bride.
I mean, she looks fantastic, if I may say.
Oh, that's cool.
How did that all come together?
This time around, we didn't really aim for like a particular
veil
art
is
style,
super cool.
so much as trying to execute on the coolest possible version of vampires, and that led us to a lot of curved and pointed shapes inspired by fangs, bat wings, gothic architecture.
Okay, I know it's Olivia's big day, but are there any other A-list vampires that got this fang treatment?
Absolutely. Here, let's take a look at Soren the Mirthless. So one of the amazing things about the
Jesus,
showcase
he looks like
treatment is it
fucking
lets us step
Alucard.
a little bit outside of our usual magic style. And on that note, Soren might look a little bit familiar to some video game fans out there. The artist is Ayami Kojima, who is bringing her unique visual style to magic for the first time.
That is a huge get.
Like I said, we knew we wanted to do the coolest, most aesthetically pleasing version of vampire.
Oh, this
I
lady.
don't want to force
Yeah.
anyone to tear their eyes away from this breathtaking, aesthetically pleasing vampire art, but Lauren, I
Oh, and she is also
understand
the
that
artist
you
for
brought
Castlevania as well.
Commander previews with
That's
you.
the whole point.
Yes. Crimson Vow will have 2 commander decks. One that is going to be focused on vampires, which you probably guessed, and another that's focused on spirits. They are headed up by Streffen, Mar Progenitor, and Millicent, Restless Revenant.
That cost
Mara.
reduction ability on Millicent means that once you've got enough spirits, she's never going to be staying in the command zone for very long.
And it looks like Streffen's got yet another way to use the blood tokens.
I like
Well, you
Streffen.
know
He's
what to
cool.
sell me on
With
blood.
a
I mean, it's very
Moras.
versatile
That's a
ingredient.
likewise.
Is there something I...
Nope, it's nothing really. Is there anything
Nice,
else, Lauren?
Yes,
The abandoned
well,
Moor
you'll be able
estate,
to find
a favoured haunt
command-focused
of
cards
newly
in the
sired
set
vampires,
and
so-
collector boosters as well, like this card, Wedding Ring.
Nah, that seems like a card that's built for multiplayer if ever I saw one. I mean, for
If it was
richer
custom.
or for poorer, if you're top decking or you're gaining life. Yeah, it seems like Olivia's got the right idea. I mean, it's gonna make some interesting political plays.
Thank you so much, Lauren. This all looks incredible. So Becca and I need to get inside in time for the big ceremony. Shall we all head back to Taylor so you can see us off?
Yeah, there's Twins of Moor Estate as well, which is a card from Shadows over Innistrad. 2 little vampire kids. So presumably the Moras are like a new vampire family.
Well, everyone, it sounds like our preparations for the wedding of the century are almost complete. Are you excited, Becca?
Yeah, how could I not be, Deb? I mean, there's so many fun creative flourishes that really give this that classic horror vibe.
Well, if you're a fan of classic horror, we've got 2 last things to show you that I think you'll be pretty excited about. First off, where would the vampire set be without the progenitor of every pop culture vampire, Count Dracula himself?
No. Oh my God, what a unique take. I love it.
So for these, we went back and drew from the literary Dracula.
Oh, they've
Bram
done the-
Stoker's Dracula.
They've Godzilla'd
Even
this
the
shit.
flavor
That's cool.
text is pulled from his original novel, and since we're pulling from the novel, it was a really fun challenge to sort of stay true to those characters written in the descriptions, but bring our own flair to sort of bring them to life or unlife.
We specifically chose artists that we knew had done great work on vampires or kind of similar concepts
That's cool.
in the
I like-
past, and they really
like that.
all came through for us. Each card is full art and borderless.
Is there
and
only
we
3?
don't just limit ourselves to well-known iconic characters. You'll find lots of classic props and set pieces that
Oh,
look
okay, that's
established
just
as
an example.
part of the kind of bigger vampire lore. We wanted these to be exciting not just for Magic players, but for fans of the rich history of vampires and the surrounding fiction.
So draft, set, and collector booster boxes all come with a foil Dracula series box topper. And if you buy a box at select local game stores, you'll be able to get Castle Dracula as a buy a box promo.
Oh, that's fun.
I mean, what a great way to pay homage to one of the stories that inspired Innistrad in the first place, right? And
Probably
I'm
be
sure
from
you
your
did
LGS as well.
Right, by all the horror fans as well.
Do our best.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you said 2 surprises?
That's right.
Yes, we still need to tell you a little bit about Double Feature.
Ooh, yes.
Oh,
So Midnight
whatever.
Hunt and Crimson Vow.
That's something
share
I
a
don't- super
special
don't care about.
relationship. So to commemorate that, we wanted to hit everyone with a double feature, which is basically taking cards from each Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow and monster meshing them together into one single unique draftable set.
Oh, that's really cool. So when you draft double feature, you're gonna have a chance to play with those synergies and combos that you wouldn't have with one alone. Like, I'm thinking you could use zombies with Decayed to maybe turn on your exploit cards.
The other thing you'll notice pretty quickly is that the cards have been given a special high contrast treatment. So each card has been
Oh.
individually adjusted to look great.
Oh,
in
that's a
black
new
and white.
card.
And our
Torrens
usual rainbow
first,
foil
Fist
has
of
been
the
swapped out
Angels
for what we
even.
call silver screen foils for a more cinematic monochrome effect.
Yeah, I love this. I mean, that black and white, it just pops out of the frame.
Soren the
Double
Mirthless,
features
I
also
can't
the
tell
only
what he
place
looks
that you'll
like,
find this card treatment.
but he
So
looks
if
like
you're
an
looking to
actor.
pick them up, you'll want to keep an eye out for when they hit shelves in January of 2022.
Well, everyone, it looks like they've pulled out all the stops to make this a vampire.
This is a short
wedding to
one.
remember.
This is a really
But
short one.
Previews for Innistrad Crimson Vow are starting now. Be sure to follow along.
That's right. And you can check out the release on Arena and Magic Online. That's going to be on 11/11. Pre-releases are going to be 11/12 to 11/18. And then you can find your physical release on 11/19.
Why is she not saying November?
You might want to keep your eyes peeled for a special Crimson Vow trailer. Also dropping on the 11th. That's the same day as
Oh, that's
Arena
cool.
and Magic Online releases.
I mean, then again,
Thank
if I
you
think
for
back to like the
joining us,
Kaltine trailer, the
and, we'll
Kaltine
see
trailer
you
was
next time.
awful.
Bye.
And so yeah, the Ikoria one is not very
Wait,
good.
What do you want to do tonight? Because I was thinking maybe we could stay up all night and then we could just make sure we're inside when the sun comes up.
Becca, for the last time, I'm not a vampire.
Okay, I'll drop it.
Sorry.
Yes. That's kind of disappointing that it was very, very short, but ultimately. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. After call time. Okay, no. Say after call time, I'm always ready for them to go like, oh, hee-hoo, Sheoldred, but I reckon we're gonna have to wait until, for Jin-Gataxius Reality Hacker for that. So, yeah, so that was okay. I like the art. It's kind of all I really feel about it, to be honest. I don't really have any further, like, opinions on it. It's kind of it. It was super short as well. That was like, the whole thing was 22 minutes. I'm pretty sure the Midnight Hunt one was at least like half an hour, but whatever. It's not really a big deal. Honestly, I may as well head off here, because I have some bits and pieces to do before a game tonight. I gotta fill out some nonsense, but otherwise, yeah, I'd say. Thanks for sort of stopping by, watching the thing with me. It was okay. I'll be back on Sunday to finish Omega Ruby, or to start finishing it at least. But yeah, see ya.